poo.
I mean, if you're going to, you would probably want to get that out of the way sooner rather than later, because it's the last note I have on here is that this, depending on how you guys decide to handle things, could be an extremely dangerous, like, could easily turn into a TPK kind of a fight that you guys might be heading into, unless you talk your way out of it somehow. But, it could be extremely dangerous for you, so just keep that in mind.
Well, I was thinking this thing already knows we're coming, so...
Yeah.
I don't know what else we can do at this point except for going around the outside, but...
Well, so back in narrative then, you guys have... we can
Right.
just, you haven't really gone through the tunnel yet, let's say.
No.
Back in the room with the caretaker and Olowin was standing there looking over the pot. Launder has come in behind you guys. He's still standing there carrying this sack and kind of limping his way along. What would you guys like to do?
All right, guys.
Weren't we trying to find stuff to lay down in the tunnel?
Pogo had just laid down a mattress, and I think Norok had grabbed the table and laid that down. And Launder's actually eyeing this very cautiously, like he's not looking forward to having to walk across the coral. And those, of course, wouldn't be long enough to cover it. The tunnel goes off a little ways and then turns a little bit, so you can't see how far it's going to go. But the coral does continue along the tunnel, and it seems like it actually grows to cover the walls as well.
I'd like to ask... I forgot her name. I gotta bring my notes up. What's the name of the floating girl?
Olowin.
Olowin? Hey, Olowin. Do you know... Can you tell me... Do you know what's waiting for us outside this tunnel?
She kind of closes her eyes slowly, and she stands there for a second, just silently, not responding. And she says, "There are hundreds of them, and some more of them." And she points at the statue, the moving statue thing, the caretaker, and him.
Hundreds of what? Or whose? Hundreds of the thing we killed earlier with the tentacles for the mouth.
She opens her eyes and looks. She says, "There are some of them. There are others I don't know. There are some of the fish people. I'm afraid I've never seen them before. I'm not really sure. There's many different species, many different peoples.
Do you feel like you have any way of protecting us from the way they can kind of control, or the way they were able to shock us in there? Is there any way we could be protected from that? Anything that you might be able to do?
I'm not even sure I can protect myself from them. He already has his foot in the door, so to speak.
Do you mind if and I'm gonna turn to the wolf guy, and I'm gonna say
his name's Launder.
Launder.
Yeah.
Launder, do you think I could have a few of those bombs? How strong are these? Like, if one were to explode in my hand, would I just be completely obliterated?
He chuckles. He says, "There probably wouldn't be enough of you left to really, have much of an open casket, let's say."
How many of those do you have? Maybe we should spread them around if there's 100 things out there.
I brought a dozen of them. It's about as many as I could carry.
All right. Well, why don't should we all each take a couple and keep them as a last resort?
Are you thinking, before they get you, set one off and blow yourself up? What do you
or
mean
at least create a diversion to get out of there.
Yeah, if you think that's a good use of them, sure. I don't know. I can.
Artemis, Serafina, Norok.
I'll take a couple.
All right. Now the problem is, how do we light them? Is there any fire in the room? Looking around.
There's the fire directly under the cauldron.
All right. I'm gonna take a little oil and I'm gonna make like a torch. So I might actually even have a torch in my inventory, but let's see.
Do these bombs have fuses?
Yeah, they literally look like a cartoon bomb, like a bowling ball with a fuse sticking out of it. They're ceramic. The shell is ceramic. Launder opens the bag though and starts, passing them out. He hands one to you, Sarah. And one to you.
Keep away from this torch.
One to Pogo, and you guys. As soon as he hands them to you, they've got some heft to them. Like, it's probably a good 10 pounds. and which isn't that much. And if you're strong enough, you could throw 10 pounds a good distance. But if you're 4 feet tall,
Sure.
Throwing 10 pounds is a quarter of your weight. So
Give Norak a few of them. Let's have Norak hold 2 or 3. Norak, do you have a way?
He kind of nods. He says that was what I was originally thinking. Is the big guy and I can probably lob them into the middle of them if they become a problem, or maybe set them up as a trap or something. I don't know.
So I'm thinking, if there's this many of them, and they know we're coming, and they can read our minds, they're going to probably know that we have this as an option. But if you're reading our minds right now, maybe we should go out and see the situation before we do anything too disastrous. What do you guys think about that?
Maybe we should try talking to it first.
That, I think, is probably the best bet. Do you guys want to... Are you okay with that, Arteme? Norak?
I'm just gonna shrug.
I'm thinking we do it kind of Have you ever heard the bedtime story of the Wars of Stars? Have you ever heard this? Where you go in with basically a grenade. Have you heard you basically go in with a grenade and it's basically no, everyone's fine or everyone's dead. And we make sure that they understand that we don't want that. None of us want to die. But
is that a Star Wars thing? I don't really know the story.
No. I was thinking of the Solo movie, but I couldn't remember.
Oh, okay. I didn't.
Where he holds a rock and he pretends it's a detonator. Anyways.
Oh, okay.
So forget about that bedtime story.
Forget about that one.
So does that sound
mutually assured destruction that you intend to, kill yourself and them if you have to? Assured
destruction.
Yeah.
Now, should there be a? Oh, they can read our minds. Never mind.
You guys need tinfoil
So
hats.
right now, we're gonna go in there with that. We're not gonna attack, but we'll be on the defense. And who wants to go through this scary tunnel first? Does this sound good? Anyone else need some more prep?
Launder's ears kind of sink a little bit. He kind of looks over at Norak.
I'd prefer to have side back before we go in.
How long does that take?
An hour.
An hour?
Launder kind of chuffs a little bit. He says, I could do with an hour to kind of psych myself up.
Right. Should we do it in here? And I kind of look at the... I mean, there's a weird ghost man stirring a pot.
I'm just gonna...
He's completely ignoring you. He's still just stirring the pot, yeah.
All right. Well, I'll keep an eye on the where this area is going. Anyone have a way to talk to it? Can you Olowin? Can you talk to this thing that's out there?
I'd rather not. I'm afraid if I do, he'll be able to subvert some meaning, some amount of control over me.
Don't do that. Let's not do that at all.
I don't want to invite him in,
Do these bombs weigh more than 10 pounds, do you think?
They're about 10 pounds each, you estimate.
Ooh.
That's why he's been limping the whole time. He's obviously got a bad leg anyways, but he's got 120 pounds slung over his back, which has slowed him down quite a bit. And he did just try to dig out half of the temple that you collapsed, so he might be a little bit tired.
Aye. So I've got an idea.
Are you setting up with your sensor and your herbs and everything? Okay.
Yep.
I've got an idea. Since they weigh about 10 pounds, guys, and I'm gonna kind of toss it up and cast Mage Hand and have it like hold it in the air. I've got a bit of an idea.
All right. Well, you can throw it up and catch it with Mage Hand. You notice that as soon as on the downswing of the bomb, the Mage Hand catches it and then sinks like 2.5, 3 feet, and before it kind of stabilizes and catches itself, it can hold exactly 10 pounds. And this thing is just about spot on. So like it'll basically, if you got to move it, it's going to be moving a little bit slow, but it doesn't like able to do it. That was not intentional, by the way. I didn't make it 10 pounds for that reason. I just hadn't really thought I was trying to use a Mage Hand.
I'm trying to keep all the cylinders in my brain running, and I'm sharing all the information I can.
What's Norak doing, G?
sorry, we muted it. So whenever they're ready, I'll just start moving those rocks. So was he saying that he needed to rest first, though? Sorry, I didn't
Move the rocks? What rocks do you mean?
I'm sorry, were they rocks, those 10-down things that I was going to help?
No, those are bombs. Remember the bombs that Launder showed you? He didn't show them to anybody else, but he showed them to you. Remember?
Yeah.
Those
It would
are
have been
what
really funny if maybe Norok, as his character, just thinks they're rocks.
Just starts
Why
throwing
is
rocks
it-
at the bad guys. Why are these rocks?
What good is this gonna do?
Yeah. Why does it have a rope sticking out of it?
Just pull the ropes out before you throw it, obviously.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
So I,
Go ahead.
yeah, I'll just, whenever he's ready to start moving those and stuff, I'll do that with him.
Well, I mean, those aren't. You don't have a plan for where to move those yet. Launder just handed you a bunch of them. We'll say that he gave one to. Well, Pogo, were you trying to carry two of them?
No, I'll just take one.
Okay, all right. Then one to Sarah, one to Arteme, one to Pogo, and then 4 to Norok. So you guys have
Cool.
those.
And then he's got some too. Yeah, the
Yeah, and he has the remainder.
Wander.
So let's see, 4, 7. So he'll have 5 of them himself.
So that thing that happened to us when we came down the rope back into the cave. Does anyone have any way of protecting us from that or helping us from that?
I don't.
All right. Might as well ask. You know what? Well, we're taking. Is anyone hurt? Is anyone hurt here? Are we all okay?
You guys are all full.
Yeah, I thought we were all full.
Yeah, you're not full as far as resources are concerned. You guys
Sure.
burned some stealth slots with the puzzle and stuff like that, but as far as health, you guys are okay.
Yeah, I topped everybody off.
Yeah.
Wish I could give you back some spell slots.
You guys just killing time then, waiting for Sai to be resummoned?
I'm going to take a closer inspection at this soup that's being stirred.
You are just slightly tall enough. It's basically the brim of the cauldron is probably like chin height for you. So standing on your tippy toes, you can look over into it. It's not so hot that it's gonna burn you or anything like that. But you look over into it, and it is a bubbling kind of orangish colored stew. And there are chunks of flesh that are kind of rolling around in it as he's stirring it. He's not paying you any attention whatsoever. You just see this giant ladle stirring around in there.
Does it look like it's human or?
Let's just say that the little bits of it, when you do see it, that are uncovered, that are not beneath, basically that are slightly above the surface of the stewish liquid, have a very distinct wrinkled look to them. That looks like it's probably cranial meat.
That means brains. I think there's brains in there. So does this job have dental, or I'm saying that to the guy stirring it.
He doesn't respond. Just keep stirring.
I'm just gonna back into the corner while I'm keeping an eye on the opening. Then
Olowin floats over to the temple, to the tunnel that leads out toward the temple, just staring out.
how confident do you feel right now, Olowin?
She takes a deep sigh. She says, "Not, to be honest, but we all do what we have to, right?"
Don't like this idea at all. Do you sense the other elves from earlier anywhere around?
Yeah, they are up there, and she points. In fact, she also has to back up a little bit because she points up with her hand, and her hand would hit the ceiling. So she backs up. She floats herself backwards toward you a little bit, and then raises her arm up, and she's pointing upward at an angle through the ceiling to the north.
Did you guys see that? The elves are at least in a somewhat close direction to us. Maybe they're gonna be on the hilltops. Do you have? Can you ask them what they see outside? If they see anything
They're arguing amongst themselves. They're worried, and I think they're still trying to figure out what their plan is. But they're
Can
up
you-
there.
If you send them the information we've been talking about, do you think that'll be intercepted by this thing outside?
Yes.
Fucking swing and a miss every damn time. All right. Can you do me a favor? Can you tell if we were like based off where we were coming from? Would we know if we were coming up to the based off what I can figure out so far and gather? It sounds like this is going to output onto, or what Pogo hopefully would gather, back onto like a beach type area. And it seems to me like we'd be coming from the south. Does that make sense? Or either the south or the east, based off the map.
Okay, so
Like, would I know that? I can roll for it. Never mind.
it's not really a roll. I mean, you don't know the area, but based on it's kind of simple geography of what you would expect it to be, you expect that you will be coming from. You will be reaching a beach that the water would be flowing south. Basically, if it was a horizontal beach, let's say, right, an east to west beach, then you would be coming from the south and approaching it that way. That is the direction you're coming. But as Olwen has told you, it's not. You're not coming out to a beach.
Got it.
You're coming out to a temple.
Can you
It's
tell?
like inside of a cavern, essentially.
Can you tell us more about what the elves are arguing about?
I'm not. I don't know that I can make all that much sense of it. They're arguing that they should just go back. That this isn't our fight. I don't think they really understand what he's here for.
Can you just tell them? Can you tell them that they need to stay ready and that they need to take care of this problem now, or it's going to get worse? And you can tell them that Arteme and Pogo are both behind them on this, and they need to support us, or their capital city will end up getting destroyed by this thing.
I mean, it's my capital too. Of course, we're
All
not
of your
going anywhere.
capital cities. Just tell them that. See if we can change their minds, or force them into this decision of without these delays.
The younger-
and dilemmas.
The younger one isn't listening anyway. It seems like insurrection. They're going to stay.
All right. Serafina, anything to add to this?
Seraphina's not paying any attention. She has found a corner somewhere and is trying to read at least a little bit of one of those books since we're taking an hour.
Okay. If you're doing that, basically, if you're not doing much, then you can take a short rest. I don't know that you guys even necessarily need to. You guys are full health anyway. But if you have anything that you would need back on a short rest, then you can get it.
You might actually know this better than me. I don't think I do, but I could be wrong.
For Bard.
Yeah. I don't think I think because I've only used one of my
Inspiration.
bardic
Yeah.
inspirations, so
That is when you finish a long rest.
Yeah.
Do you get that back on a short rest from something else from a lower bard? That might be a lower bard thing that you get it back on a short rest. I don't remember. But normally.
oh,
you
on Font of Inspiration. So you now regain all expended uses of bardic inspiration on the completion of a short rest.
Okay, so you'll get your one use of bardic inspiration back then.
Woohoo, guys! Woohoo! Now
Arteme
we're
would get
fine.
back-
Now we're fine. I was worried earlier,
That'll
but
do
now
it.
we're all good.
Arteme would get back her wild shapes, but she hasn't used those, so those are still okay. Sarah, your sorcery points are long rest, right?
Yep, so I don't get anything.
Nothing back for short rests for you? Okay. And then Norok, I think Norok's rages are long rest as well, but he's got 4 of them anyways, so as long as he doesn't get knocked out, then he's okay.
I'll
God
be
damn
right
it.
back.
All right,
be
go ahead. I gotta
I'll
reboot this fucking machine.
I'll be right back. In
Right.
the meantime, Norok, Arteme, Serafina, come up with the best plan ever.
It's on you.